You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Sabres Zone.
Hi, good evening everybody. Welcome to the Sabres Zone, the video on the channel, if you're new, that discusses what one of you had to say. So guys, I'm finally back for a night anyway. So let's jump on some videos. I'm long overdue. Okay guys, here is the clip. And shout out goes to Scott Labosh, or Labach. And he says, if our power play can be top 10 and we get a veteran goalie, then we'll be a scary good team. Isn't that as simple as it gets though right now? And when you think about, Scott, where were we 3 years ago? To be able to say something like this and it be 100% accurate, it's pretty crazy, eh? That's what Kevin Adams has done, folks. He's completely restructured this team through draft and trade. And we have a team now that we can look at them even at 500 and we can say something like this and it makes total sense. I think Scott hit the nail on the head here. I'm along the same thinking now. We do need, I think, a veteran goalie to help the younger guys come along so they don't have to learn on their own. And these guys will be watching the habits of these veterans, you know. And I've talked about this before on the channel. And guys, I'll show you another clip. And this is what I've been lobbying for before. Here we go. And yep, that is what I think we need, guys. I think Gibson would be exactly what the doctor ordered on this team. If you take a look this year, he's 2-4. But his save percentage is .921, his goals against .241. He looks back in form this year. You got to keep in mind, he was still a .900 save percentage goalie on a horrible team. This, for me, would work. This would work. I know this would not backfire in our face, and I know his contract is not cheap at 6.4, okay? He's got this year and the next 3 years at 6.4. Could we squeeze it in? Yes, we could. We could manage it. I think this could be the answer to not having to stress out the goalies, really. And I don't want to coddle them, okay? But I think we do have to look at, you know, there's going to come a time, a point, a run, a road trip, whatever you want to call it, in the season where a veteran goalie would come in real handy on this team. I know that. I'm not blind to that. As much as I love Levi and as much as UPL showing us a few good signs so far this year too. So guys, we have to think about something like this just as a thought. Now, is Adams along the same thinking? I think he is, because he's the one that started all the Hellebuck rumors, really. I mean, they had to go lock him in Winnipeg because I think Kevin Adams was pretty aggressive in trying to get him. And I think this would be a perfect fit in Buffalo at 6.4 because of the term. Right about when his contract ends, say it's the last year, we can trade him out as a rental somewhere. And I think Levi'd be ready to take the reins anyway by that point. And I just think that this would be a good mentor for our young goalies, which we don't have anymore right now. We don't have that. You know, it felt pretty good, eh, with Anderson. I know Anderson wasn't giving us, what would the polite term be? He wasn't giving us the best numbers he could have in his career. He gave us the twilight of his career. He didn't give us like the prime numbers of his career. If we had a goalie like this, he's 30. It's a perfect fit, I think. I've been saying it for well over a year. I think this is the guy the Sabres should go after. I think this is the perfect fit. I really do believe that. And you know, I don't see any other goalie that makes as much sense as this. He's already locked in. You know, and we've got the money. We can make it happen. You know, there's things we'll have to do. We'll have to move out some. We'd have to give up something. They're not just going to give us this. They're not just going to say thank you for taking this contract and give them to us. No chance. Because right now they're winning over there. They're playing good. And that's without Zegras. Zegras has been the pits this year. And it's guys like Gibson that have kept the season afloat. I think we could swing a deal like this. I do. So now let's talk about the power play. The power play, you know what, guys? Olson, what time he does get on the power play is ineffective anyway. It's not like we're giving him a ton of chance. I get that. He's played something like 91 minutes this year. And but Olofsson's got 1 assist all year, and it's on the power play. Olson has no 5-on-5 points, so we've got to look at that. And people say, well, let's trade him. Well, how do you trade somebody? Okay, how do you trade somebody like Olson? You can't. But you could. Okay, you could, technically. I think we could throw in Olson to get Gibson. We'd have to give up a first rounder or maybe a prospect. Yeah, they'd have to take on the whole salary, of course, of Olson. You know, no, we're not going to retain anything. It's 1 year left in his contract, so it's really risk-free. Like, if Olson does nothing this year, guys, I'm not going to panic about it. We've got cap space that we're not using. It's better that management, you know, like next year negotiations, if they plan on keeping Olson, he's taking a pay cut. He's not getting an increase, that's for sure. You know, so he's making close to $5 million and he's doing nothing. He's got 2 hits, you know, this year. It's not good enough, guys. It isn't. You know, that's just part of our problem. It's not just Olson. But I've been saying for years here, and I've gotten it from fans that have man crushes on Olson, and they want to keep him. And I think they're starting to see my side of this now. When you look at him this year, he's ineffective, period. And people say, well, we got to put him on the first line. Well, then why are we paying him $5 million if he has to be on the first line? He got that contract because he played on the first line quite a few minutes. So no, if he can't produce, he's got to go. Okay, he's got to go. And we could sit down. I'm sure there's a deal that could be made with Anaheim, because Gibson more than once has bitched about not wanting to be part of a rebuild. And right now they're winning over there, but are they ahead of the rebuild like we are? No. Will they crash and burn? Most likely, yes. Anaheim will crash and burn this year. Their goalies can't keep them afloat forever. Zegras has to get his game going. There's all sorts of things we can discuss. If it was a video on that, it's not. But guys, I think we can look at situations with other teams because we have that cap space. And I'm going to talk about this in the last video tonight. It's going to be one of the things, I believe it's in the last video. I can't remember. I have to look at what I have outlined later. But guys, we have to really debate about this. Do we do it? Do we make an aggressive pitch like this? I think right now, you know, and God, I don't want to say nothing bad about our young goalies. I don't. But would a veteran goalie really help? Like Scott is saying, yes, it would, guys. It really would. And the power play is a whole other thing. Like, you know, I'll leave the goalie thing for now. We'll talk about it later on tonight again. But guys, I can tell you that when it comes to the power play, I think that will find itself. I think we will. Our power play will find itself again. We will. Yeah. It was too good last year to not show up all year this year. It was. You know, once Tage gets going, we know what can happen on the power play. And when Tage isn't scoring and Olofsson's not blasting them in, yeah, our power play's feeling it, you know. But at the same time, we're 500. We're right there. We're kind of, you know, and this is why I'm thinking, do we make a move? Like Scott's talking about, do we make an aggressive pitch is an idea, because it really, we don't want to waste this year. You know, I don't want to come this close and miss out this year, not this year. You know, if we would have, let's say, made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years or something, I could understand them being like very diplomatic with the money and saying, no, we're going to wait. But right now, guys, we're starving for a playoff series as fans. And, you know, I don't want to see this kind of slip by the season and all of a sudden we finish 4 points out or something, or, you know, close at the end. Because I don't see any reason the Sabres can't be top 2 in their division this year with the roster we have. I just don't see it. So if there's a bit of tweaking, like Scott's talking about here, get the vet goalie, let's get the power play going. Yes, absolutely. They wouldn't just be a playoff team; they'd be one hell of a team if those things start happening. So I think it's something we should look at. Which we've talked about, guys. We've went back and forth. Some of us, and I'm one of those guys. I can understand if Adam says no. I'm sticking with my goalies. I'm sticking with these young guys because I believe in them. I get that, but right now we need help. We could use some veteran help right now to kind of save these seasons. Sooner or later, guys, we have to give up something to make a push and make a move, because that's what assets are for, not just for building a team. They're also for solidifying a team too, putting the glue around them, saying, okay, this is a powerhouse now, So just my thoughts on that, guys. I'll see you in the next video. I'm Rusty. Let's keep the night going. See you in the next one.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to ensure Dimension access.